I knew I shouldn't have made it for 10, 15, but whatever. Before we start this session, I'd like to inform you from the get-go that we'll spend lots of time reading its wiki, the almanac in the game, and we will be reading lots of stories and fables. In case you don't like too much reading, I'd highly suggest that you either put me on your background or skip this part. Not sure if I will be able to finish reading everything within 2 hours and a half or not, but we'll try and see. Other than that, hopefully after we finish reading Almanac, we will be going after the eastern area and finishing the game completely today, hopefully. So yeah. Also, I reviewed the Slavic myth this game is supposed to be, its origins, and turns out, regardless what you choose, whether it was the good Yaga or the bad Yaga, the evil or the good, it won't matter really. Because, regardless, your choice is not that much of a heavy penalty. What's up, Marcus? Glad to have you here today. I bet it's for you 8 p.m. right now, between us 2 hours. Let's get to the business. First and foremost, the official introduction. Greetings and salutations all, and welcome back to Invisible Let's Play the Project. I'm your host, Invisible, from Invisible's gaming channel, striking at your heart from the side of the moon, and this shall be the continuation of Project Let's Play Blacktail, the adaptation of the supposed origins of a certain Slavic myth. Previously, we were guided by the guides of Gaming Guides Tell, peace be upon its owner as well. I left the link in the description for this video, for the videos previously, who helped us very much finish off all of our skills, all of our knowledge, all of our lost and found. And we even managed to find out about the hidden minigame Apex Predator. And we saved 4 rats from our narrator, the Black Cat, nicknamed by me Dusty, since he very much resembles Dusty from Gravity Rush. And today we shall review all the information in the Almanac mini Wikipedia within the game, since once we go beyond the point of no return, there will be no free roaming, no gameplay start new game plus, and once we see the ending, there will be no returning back. The project will officially be shut down. I will not show you both endings, good and bad, because I want you to experience to yourselves what the bad ending could be like, and if you would like the good ending, you may as well just play the game to get it yourselves as a reward for your own work. For me, finishing the game 100% without any achievements, I don't really care about it that much, because I play the game for the game itself, not for the achievements. That being said, I think before we start, I'd like to pray peace be upon all of my subscribers and commentators, followers, fans, and friends, everyone from the Beasts of Delta Empire and everyone from the Discord server, free YouTube friends by name. Peace be upon Thunderstruck Gaming, be it Zone9 Gaming, Lax Bear, Marcus, who is literally right now with us on the participation, Nato Crash 31, Mark Ice 1211, Rogue Agent, Carodan, Cryfield, ZPTV 123, Matthew 1121, Sagrada 25, Alpha Muscle Gaming, Bob Express, and Spiral Fan 28. Let's get this thing started. By the way, before you ask me, I didn't yet figure how to resolve the problem with OBS and its live chat participation thing, so we still have that problem to deal with. It still skips on the live chat chatter. There you go. This should work. Let's make it work now. Good. Okay, let's. Once again, I will leave the rendering all of it for Firefox because the Brave is not good with the rendering. And let's just launch our offline Blacktail. Previously, I picked up all the vengeance-centric choices for the game's ending, and looks like the game literally told me, "Ta ta ta, you are a very naughty huntress, and you shouldn't be this much vindictive. You're a bad archeress." Regardless of my morality choices, looks like player accountability and agency don't matter at all in this game. You know that all the time we spent making sure that we go to pure good, yeah, all that 17 parts ago, almost every part, 2 hours and a half was for nothing. Amazing, I know. Sorry for not being here for multiple streams again. It's fine. It is fine, Marcus. No hard feelings, really. In fact, I am very much thankful that you made it here today. First session here now. Most likely I'm going for double session. But if we can finish what we want to do in the first session as is, it will be good. If you're looking for me to be reading, to be giving you gameplay and whatnot, at the moment we will not do any gameplay. I'm going to straight out open the almanac and read it through it all. Last night we rewatched all the cutscenes of the game and all of the spiders. I may review them again, but first I'd like to finish reading all the entries since we updated everything to the maximum. And we also discovered the truth behind almost every single character in the game. We are now literally facing the final point of no return. We reached it. Just need to make up my mind how to put my complete and utter vengeance against all my bullies. We'll see now. Don't worry, perhaps this will be the last session we will have, or maybe the double session right after it. It all depends on how quick we read through the information we have. We'll see. Previously, I did this exact thing with Aragami 1, the first, where we spent 2 hours literally just reading and reading lore. I do prefer to read everything in its own time. We also did this exactly with Cyberpunk, where I read the charts one after the other. So what do we do now? This is what we will do now. I'm going to enter this here. As you can see, 4 spiders for all the 4 seasons. We have all the lost and found items, all the fables, the Slavic take on them. We have the 4 rats that we saved from the narrator, our black cat friend here. If I go to skills, we have unlocked all of them. We have the skills maxed out completely. Go to morality. We have pure good with an instant resurrection only once available for us. We will start this session by going to Almanac. It's about time we read through all of this. I'm not joking. We have 90 out of 90 feathers, 50 out of 50 sticks, 24 out of 24 red herbs, 14 out of 14 honeycombs, 10 out of 10 eyes, 14 out of 14 crystals, 3 out of 3 meat, and 19 shillocks. We have literally set up the game 100%. Let's go to the bestiary and see what we have in it. People. Here basically nothing at all. Just see some random silhouettes. Two-legged, two arms and a head mostly. Okay, good. Our protagonist, Yaga. She's an outcast and a recluse, one of the orphan twins raised by a foster family in the village. Her face bears a strange birthmark, causing superstitious villagers to antagonize her. The least popular of the kids, always a punching bag, shunned and mocked. Ashamed of her appearance, she chooses to hide behind a mask. She believes the mask and her brave sister's protection are the only things shielding her from the cruelty of the outside world. She's not necessarily wrong there. Rejected by her community, she chose paths less traveled, and with them a life of survival and hunt. Yaga is a literal real huntress. Funny enough is, if you wish to see her face, since she's the twins with her sister, just look at her sister's face most likely, if they are identical twins. The voice. A foul-mouthed guide who seems to know more than she tells. Her nature and motivations are unknown yet. The voice insists on claiming the hut to stop the roots. She seems to care for Yaga's quest only as long as it aligns with her goals. She laughs off Yaga's remarks on her connections to Baba. My acquaintances with the so-called voice soon became apparent. We had a little chat right after all the ancient temple debacle, just like the old days. An amusing face she's going through that I've got to admit each time less amusing than the last, but still amusing. At one point, Yaga believed the so-called voice to be some sort of a mask to hide her true face. A face of a murderer, she said. Amusing indeed. Yaga's not a murderer. Yaga is a victim. Zora. Yaga's lost twin sister. I think if you look at Zora's face, you should be able to, I think, see in her also Yaga's face. Who knows? Since they are twin sisters. She is the bright one, the loud one, the leader and the protector, the one keeping Yaga safe from the villagers' superstitions and bigotry. Her disappearance tipped the scales. Yaga could no longer feel safe in the village. The only option she was left with was to set out into the wild to reach Zora, to search for Zora. Zora was not waiting by the red oak. Yaga realized her sister went after the missing kids. She was always brave, but venturing out on such an adventure, all on her own, bordered on recklessness. Finding Zora meant finding all the other missing Dragoi, Slavidzia, and Volko, and so the hunt began. Gordana. An old witch of the woods, supposedly long gone. She was known for both as a killing protector of the forest and as an iron-fisted tyrant. Her exact role in the lives of the forest dwellers is not yet known to some. That is, Yaga and Hendrik, the conjurer, tried to contact the old wise woman, but whatever fate Gordana had met, her soul was impossible to reach. Baba took a particular interest in the attempt to reach Gordana. Yaga knew there must have been some special connection between the two. Finally, the time came for me to reveal the truth. Gordana was the twins' mother. Killed by the bloodthirsty village folks, her soul never found rest. Yeah. Gordana, the forest guardian, was the mother of Zora and Yaga both. And the cursed village folks grew sick of her and her witchcraft powers, so they killed her. And then they became bigots against her both um, daughters. I mean, how much rancid do you have to become? Missing supposed friends. Dragoi, Volko, Slavitza, and most recently Zora. The village youth seem to disappear one by one every year. This has caused ever-increasing unrest to keep up in the villagers' minds. As disappearances continued, the superstition grew. With every lost child, Yaga's safety among the village folks was less certain. Dragoi disappeared without a trace a year ago. Yaga's friend, there was something between Dragon and Yaga, but after what seemed to him like a rejection, his anger took over. He betrayed Yaga by giving her to the ruthless, superstitious brutes who would have her lynched, as they believed her to be scheming with Baba. That day, Dragoi did not return home. Slavitza disappeared 2 years ago. She and Yaga have never exactly seen eye to eye. Both Yaga and Slavitza wished they get along better, but Slavitza could never accept what happened to Volko, and Yaga was the scapegoat. Tension between the two grew steadily until one midsummer night. That was when Slavitza attacked Yaga, pushing her into a chasm. Slavitza was murdered by the very same night. Volko vanished 3 years ago. The village bully. Volko couldn't allow Yaga to feel safe for even a moment. He never hid his intentions, and one night, when all the four of the friends went out to explore the hut, he went all out with slander and hatred. As the rout began to spread, everyone ran away. Volko did not make it back. That's it for people. Mushroom. Mushrooms, an ancient race of giant mushrooms mentioned in even the oldest of human tales. The mushrooms seem to be ever present as an intelligent race roaming only in the deepest woods. They mostly share a friendly attitude. That being said, they don't tolerate any major disagreements, even more so betrayals. There are two kinds of mushrooms, the grand and the cursed. The two factions remain in a constant state of conflict. At times, this feud turns violent, but mostly remains a mutual reluctance. The mushrooms live in a cycle, or perhaps their cycles are rather easy for the humans to comprehend. Every year, they perish only to come to be again in their secret sanctuary, guarded by the timeless sentinel. Their roles, alignments, and alliances are only meaningful within the cycle, and however exalted their goals are, they all begin and end at the same every cycle. Such is the nature of the lesser being. I hope you didn't fall asleep yet, because we still have lots to read through. Borvi, Borko, and the Slippery Jack. The Mushroom Twins. Borvi may be grumpy and cynical, but he's good-natured. He doesn't seem easy to convince once he set his mind on a given matter. He seems rather focused on a rational explanation and will most likely refuse to accept some more uncanny points of view. Jack, on the other hand, seems deceptive, witty, cunning, and self-centered. He tends to manipulate people. The goals that he aims to achieve are way rarely entirely rational. He's an expressive figure of an artistic nature, while his tone and manner of speaking are always dignified. His mind remains chaotic. Borvi, Borko, and Slipperjack. Night. A grand mushroom, dignified of noble descent or breed, a knight paladin who has devoted his life to warfare. He tends to overpraise his achievements. The light in which he portrays himself may not always be neutral. His unmistakable equine refinement remains a mystery. rebel. A cursed mushroom, a bandit with an outlaw and an outlaw who has slipped the noose more times than one would care to account. Always about freedom at any cost. A born revolutionary who may be a bit over his head. He opposes the order, never conforming to the rules or standards. Aggressive, violent, determined, a sworn enemy to the lawful, whom he considers weak. In his passionate forever, he often gets aggressive and brutally violent. Spy. A gun mushroom, quite a cool-headed, cunning agent, a counterintelligent operative, a master in his craft, tough, tight-lipped, a bit of a creepy figure that is mistrustful of almost everyone and prefers to stay in the shadows. He's always willing to bend the law to get to the truth, which he seeks with the patience of an inquisitor. Wacko. A cursed mushroom, a disturbed individual, a tortured soul in decline. He seems to have devoted his life to an imaginary witch, wild and ferocious, desperate for attention, seems extremely gullible. Blossom. Twig's sister and Yaga's greatest fan. She is reckless as her brother, and frankly none of the wiser. Her behavior got her right into the spider's web, but fortunately enough, Yaga was there to save the day. But a recluse among the little mushrooms, not very fond of his friends. His ways are his own. It is not easy to determine anything about his goals and ambitions. After a brief encounter with Yaga, he set off for a distant horizon. If there will ever be a story in which he plays a bigger part, it is clearly not this one. The Elder Guardian. A behemoth of a mushroom, the great protector, a being of mycelium and crystal, who sacrificed its own sanity to protect what it swore to protect. Twig, the dodgiest of the little mushrooms, always on the lookout for ways to outsmart his way through, probably shouldn't be trusted. Then again, his little sister really is missing, isn't she? Bloom and Flirt. Twig's little henchman, always full of fighting spirit, rarely with a sound plan to back it up. Puppets. Only one of them. These used to be humans, but there is no humanity within these bodies anymore. Executioner. A tormented headsman must have gone for Rebel's life, but to no avail. The tide have turned in the most grotesque way. He now serves his very own enemy. Landfolk. Creatures of peculiar shapes and sizes. The Ant Queen. The ferocious ruler of the ants, an evil monarch. She will stop at nothing to ensure the dominance of the Ant Legion. The never-ending expansion will leave rubble and piles of bodies behind. The rivers will flood. It seems the monarch always has some endeavors in need of attention. Helping her in is certainly not commendable, but may yield some rewards. Mr. Larva. A scrupulous worker of the underworld, always on the clock, always on the budget, wants nothing more than to make an honest living for himself and his family. Makes you concerned about Vili's work, hygiene, regulations. Any good person would lend Mr. Lava a hand. It's just the right thing to do. Burutta. Porta. A rather charming devil trickster with poetic aspiration. One should be wary of his many deals, as the outcome are often surprising. He seems to be fond of playing games with mortals, and while his propositions may be beneficial at times, they are likely to result in chaos. Shinka, a pale-skinned beauty, best known for her rejuvenating glass coffin, to which she retreats after the most excruciating battles. The signal leader is uncharacteristically non-expensive rather than focusing on cultivating her tribe and exploiting natural resources. 7 of her most trusted henchmen are set to work in the mine day and night with the utmost passion. She seems to have the sweet spot for a certain supposedly noble babook, Hunky, and while I cannot speak of her emotions and intentions with certainty, nor do I have the sufficient knowledge of the Gnoll's romantic customs. It does seem rather suspicious to have one significant other bathed in a cauldron full of honey and spices. Weird and crazy at the same time. Hunky. Hanki the babook, whose mind has been twisted by the roots, while his sane personality is now reduced to not much more than a display of unimaginable agony. Hanki the prince reigns, his new gained supposedly real personality, seems to be in deep love with the pale-skinned gnoll leader, Shinka. The nature of this relation is not for me to judge. Drathivka, an outcast gnoll wizard. It is not clear what made him and the gnolls hordes part ways, but it is possible that his twisted ways were too much to handle, even for the gnolls. Drathka is said to have defeated an actual dragon ages ago. From the moment he began to adopt the beast's immense knowledge, something started to change inside him, making him more and more detached from his gnollish nature. It is for the best that his plans were dramatically halted, whatever they were. Henrik, an age-old conjurer who paid the price of sanity for his wisdom. Even if he got a certain discount on that deal, the fact that he has been a skeleton fish as of late may suggest that he once was a regular fish. Whether that is his original form or not remains unclear. The same goes for his actual age. Henrik's mind tends to be quite foggy as he often drifts off to the conversations with beings that seemingly aren't there. This is due to his extraordinary connection to the underworld, which he developed over the course of his no doubt many spiritual journeys. He is also said to be quite fond of fishing, but seeing he is a fish himself, I can imagine him taking some rather unusual pleasures in that pastime, as he must be the one being fished rather than the one doing the fishing. Basically, he likes to meet up with new friends or so. Louis, Pee-wee's brother, taken by the roots, just like him, his mind tormented by the horrid visions of Baba. He developed a persona of a cult leader, fixated on reanimating an ancient statue in the sacred grove. Pee-wee. The glutton whose mind has been devoured by the root, both his imp and dragon natures seem to agree on needing even more honey. And while Pee-wee the imp may have been reluctant to eat more, his dragon counterpart would always tip the scales. His sorry state was somehow taken advantage of by a group of little mushrooms, especially the one called Twig. Their yet unclear ploy would consist of making the tormented imp pretend to be a fearsome dragon whose wrath can only be avoided by presenting him with generous honey offerings. The kids would later take their fair share of said honey for purposes that remain unknown, such as a life could not have lasted for long. Baba. The evil from the woods, Baba or Baba the Witch, is thought to be the monstrous hag responsible for the most misfortunate occurrences in the village. The supposed witch is believed to be guilty of the recent disappearances. Not much is known about her other than that she has been on a prevailing danger for decades, as even the village elders can recall her name effortlessly. The demon was in search of someone. It was driven by a twisted goal. It seemed to be conflicted with itself, torn. Not much more was clear at that time. When Gordana's blood came into contact with the hut, the roots ensnared her spirit, and thus Baba came to be. The demon will not rest until it is reunited with the daughters, and it is twisted, and in its twisted image of love, it sought to rip their souls from their bodies. Peace for the land, the lost souls, and Gordana could only be attained by slaying the demon. Welcome back, Marcos. The stone. Triple dots. The stone. Triple dots. Gnolls. The Brute's culture seems primitive at first glance. They are highly territorial, military aggressive, and their language sounds harsh and barbaric, yet their understanding of the world may not be as shallow as it seems. They also seem to be unusually fond of pointy hats for some reason. Tell me, are you enjoying this as an audiobook in the background, or you got so sick of the listening that you decided to take a break from it? It's fine. I love to read wikis and masses of knowledge as long as they support the game itself. Plural. The blurrers, the blurrer, the brawlers will charge at you with their fists. Even though the techniques aren't so sophisticated, they should not be underestimated. Dashing out of their way at just the right moment should keep you from harm, provided you've got the timing down. The closer they are, the more immediate threat they pose. Stunning or slowing them down may be a good way to keep them at bay. Warrior. I will have to think about my response of your question of how I would react if YouTube went down and the servers were wiped. Good to know. Because that question's main goal was to try exploring other alternatives or replacements to migrate from these servers to others. Gnoll Warrior. The warrior gnolls will not hesitate to smash you with their clubs. Beware, the weapon grants them some extra range. Dashing out of their reach may be a bit difficult. That is unless you manage to dodge to the side. Defender. These are the most competently armed among the gnolls. Not only do they wield devastating clubs, but also an extremely sturdy wooden shield. There is no point in trying to break through the shield. Keep in mind they are only protecting the front. You would be best to try to get around their defenses to wound them. Thrower. Stay on the lookout for the long-range throwers. You can evade the rocks easily, provided you spot them in time. It's a good to remember. You can also deflect or even shoot down their projectiles. These gnolls do not hesitate to use more direct means of attack if you get too close. Plague bearers. It is unclear how these never seem to have any trouble finding buff balls nearby. Getting hit with one will get you poisoned, so it would be wise to approach them with an antidote at the ready. Healer. Shamans keen on aiding their fellow warriors. You'd be wise to take them off first, as their continued presence might undo your efforts. Shaman. While it would be very difficult to speak of the education among the gnolls, the shamans are certainly the wiser of them. Their comprehension of the forces of nature and the occult far exceeds the gnolls' average. They can cast spells as well as summon the nether legions of Rushman. Cyclops. It is widely theorized that gnoll cyclops are actually females. Not only that, but also they are said to lay eggs. I have no intention of either confirming or denying these claims, but it only seems proper to acknowledge their existence. However, it may be one should be worried. Then it may be one should be worried of the cyclops. They will snatch the Rushman from underground and throw them at anyone they deem dangerous or deserving of getting hit for any other reason. Rushman. These small scavengers populate a network of underground tunnels spread far and wide below the land. Even though their basic diet consists mainly of carrion, they will not hesitate to hunt for live prey should the opportunity arise. The Bone Tribe. The most common of Rushmen. A single one is a minor threat, but a whole group rushing can pose a quite a challenge. They mostly attack from below, often digging themselves out of the ground when least expected. Don't let them surprise you. Their main tactic consists of stabbing their prey with a knife until it dies. Not the most sophisticated of plans, but undoubtedly an effective one. Beware, they are not strangers to throwing weapons either. One would also be wise to remember that because of their repulsive diet, they are fully immune to all poisons and toxins. Tell me, Marcus, is my accent and speech understandable? Clear and understandable? Otherwise, all of this reading will be for nothing. Rushman champion. However chaotic and savage the Rushmans may be, there seems to be some residual hierarchy among them, albeit a hierarchy of strength. This brave Rushman warlord will rally its brethren, making them move faster. One would be wise to get rid of him as soon as possible. One should also keep in mind that the warlord are far more resilient. Yes, I understand you clearly. Good. By the way, when I review my own streams, I discovered that my voice is very much different from the voice you hear right now, because the computer records my real voice, not the voice I hear when I talk. So it's very much more deeper, and I don't know whether it is hard to understand or not. That's why I worry a little bit. The Nether Legion. Rushman's tunnels reach deep. Some say the elusive legion's existence proves they go as far as the underground realm of Veles. There is a slim chance you will ever encounter these rare Rushmen in their natural habitat, but they can be summoned by some skilled conjurers. Because of their unclear relation with death itself, one would certainly have some issues putting them back in the ground. One would be wise to crush their bones, even if after they have been disjointed. You have definitely improved with the commentary and the skills ever since you started streaming, in my opinion. I thank you for that. I think it comes with experience, getting used to it. We reached right now Will-O-Wisps. Will-O-Wisps. The big-bellied explosive critters. They are highly territorial and will not hesitate to sacrifice their lives in a suicidal explosion to protect their turf. It is said that the guiding lights will lead a watchful traveler towards some unspeakable riches, but the only riches the will-o-wisps truly care about is honey. When killed, they'd often drop what they had managed to steal from the beehives. Their nests can be sealed with a well-placed shot, but I'm afraid regular arrows won't do the trick. I have some thoughts with my own voice sometimes. I have a fear that people don't understand what I say, so I have to edit the in-text just in case. When you stream videos, you can't edit them or add to them anything. That's as far as I know, at least. Imps. Mischievous little thieves hiding in the bushes. They will attack on sight, not only with stones but also with ridicule. The imps won't stop laughing unless they're drop dead. On the top of that, they tend to steal. Don't let them get too close if you don't want to part with your belongings. Golden Imp. This peculiar rare imp are no pity pickpocketers. They go in for the big price, rather non-invasive specimens who will never fight back. Instead, they tend to flee when wounded, dropping pieces of their great wealth as they go. Known for carrying around all the treasures they've gathered, they are rather lucrative prey for the industrious hunter. Hunting one down would always win a great reward. What next? Vodniks, the slug-like being, are aggressive and highly territorial. Luckily, their attacks can't do much harm other than some emotional damage, while their gooey skin protects them from the conventional attacks. They can surely be squished by other means. It is said that all the Vodniks are remnants of the giant ancient entity named simply as Vodnik. Strange, but okay, I guess. Blue Vodnik. The blue Vodnik are covered in an adhesive slime that makes anything that comes into contact with them awfully sticky. Be careful not to step on one of these during a fight, as that would temporarily slow you down. The green Vodnik. The Vodnik's sponge-like nature makes them absorb various substances from their environment, and with all the filth laying around in the forest, it should come to no surprise that some of the Vodniks may turn even more disgusting. One would be smart not to step into these, as they not only stink fully, but are highly toxic. A traumatic proof of ever-progressing pollution. Vila. Vilas are lost souls of tragically deceased young women. They are said to ride clouds and command zephyrs, and whirlwinds. Even though their somewhat capricious nature used to sometimes turn them helpful to the passerby, their behavior has changed greatly ever since the roots began to spread out of control. Their ethereal nature yields them immunity to any physical harm for as long as they are not swayed by the wind like force wave. After that, they will become vulnerable for a short while. While in danger, they won't hesitate to demonstrate their command over said whirlwinds. They will also resort to phasing in and out of the material plane. They can rarely be observed sooner than by the forefathers even. Vodnik, in my language, this is basically an underwater humanoid creature which is semi-human, semi-fish, basically a mermaid, a merman from Project Altered Beast. Wow! That's good knowledge. Wow. I believe we met with them in Black Book when we went down to the underwater habitat of them. Interesting. Hungry plant. The ever-hungry plant will try its luck at taking a bite of whatever is unfortunate enough to walk past it. Shooting or deflecting will make it cower, granting you safe passage. Rootling. Rootlings, horrible abominations that exist only as an extension of Baba's ill will. The bones and the flesh of the fallen held together by the roots. The muscular memory of the profane remains grant the rootling some abilities of the other deceased creatures. Even though the bigger ones may crumble to pieces, the persistence of the root can reanimate the disjointed parts yet again. They can emerge from the unholy growth, which can be sealed with sticky arrows. Spider. By the way, we are almost halfway through the wiki now. Spiders. Eight-legged swinging around, chilling in the dark. Their poison was the undoing of many careless travelers. Some of the spiders are more sentient than others. Some may speak, some may even speak in riddles. Infamous for their overly complex bureaucracy, their eyes are very valuable components for brewing. Bats. Bats. Bloodthirsty flying rats. It is said they taste a bit better than their non-winged counterparts, albeit they are a bit more stingy. Unfortunately, they have to be hunted down first. Obviously, one would be wise to avoid the weaponized sound waves they can produce. Getting hit by one will surely result in dizziness. They also bite, and on top of that can swarm their victims, whose only salvation becomes raving like an absolute lunatic, so that they fly away, obviously. With this we finished off the tab that's named Bestiary. Imagine it. Those are all the bestiary entries. People, mushrooms, puppets, land, folk, Baba, the stone, gnolls, rushman, will-wisp, imp, vodnik, villa, hungry plants, rootlings, spiders, and bats. Bestiary is finished. Equipment. This one is very small. The mask. An irreplaceable shield protecting Yaga from the unfavorable looks, yet attracting more of them. She's had it for as long as she can remember. The domestic patterns called back for the days of the old, days forgotten, perhaps not soon. The bow. Yaga's best and most reliable friend. It has been at her side for years now. Using it has become second nature to Yaga. The gauntlet. It has been with Yaga ever since an event that remains a bit blurry in her memory for now. And that was the moment when the hot thorns pierced her skin and her blood mixed with the roots and then clotted on her hand. And so the gauntlet came to be, an unholy composition of Yaga's flesh and the hut's tissue. Also, this is what gives her the magic powers she has for some reason. Duh, because she has Gordana's blood inside her. Her mother was a witch, as is. The broom. What appears to be a few twigs attached to a pole is actually a mysterious artifact with a personality of its own. Whether considered a tool or an ally, the broom's power isn't easy to overestimate. Not only will it act as a decoy, luring enemies upon replacement, but it will also grow ever more powerful the more defined Yaga's character becomes. It is not clear why the artifact chose Yaga, but it seems to stand by her no matter where her choices may take her. Arrows. The long woody things you shoot out of your bow. There are a few kinds of them. Wooden arrow. The most basic of arrows, consisting of a plain arrowhead, wooden shaft, and a feather. Fletching you can craft them at any time as long as you have the required resources, sticks, and feathers. Sticky arrows. Honey dripping arrows that upon impact cause a sticky explosion that slows down enemies. The secret technique of crafting these were supposedly long lost, yet many fables of ancient hunters wielding them still prevail. You can craft them as long as you have, and it's at any time, as long as you have the sticks, feathers, and honey. Crystal arrows. Those were conceived in times immemorial. The secret of their design passed down through the generations among the wise. Shaping the crystal into arrowheads is near impossible task that can be only accomplished by those who dabble in the arcane. A nocked crystal arrow resonates with the sheer of the archer sporting ghostly magic arrow. These pierce the very soul of the target, and the more of them that get stuck, the more severe the explosion triggered by the follow-up crystal arrow. You can craft as many as long as you have the required resources, sticks, feathers, and crystals. Potions. Elixirs that can instantly aid you in battle. Antidote. A mixture brewed according to an age-old recipe. Perfected throughout many lifespans, it can cure almost all known poisons in mere seconds. You can craft it at any time as long as you have some crystals and some red herbs. Hunter Potion. A mixture that temporarily muffles your steps, makes you hasted, immune to confusion, and prevents fatigue from knocking arrows. The Fishing Rod. A piece of stake with fabled golden lion attached to it. It is said that the lion is actually a hair of a princess long dead. Whether it is true or not, a fishing rod made of such material is in Yaga's possession due to the unopposed will of the stone. While the stone's motivations are rarely not mysterious, the rod certainly comes in handy. Its ultimate purpose is yet to be discovered. With this, we finished already the equipments. See? They didn't take too long. Skills. Also, not many. Focus. Visiting the hut seemed to have awakened Yaga's mysterious gauntlet, which granted her some truly wondrous otherworldly powers. Deflect. Hocus. A short-range force wave useful for pushing back enemies and breaking obstacles. Sunlight Hocus. A force channeled from the sun that deals continuous damage that slows down targets in a narrow arc in front of you. This Hocus can only be cast by the righteous. Leech Hocus. A force channeled from the moon that drains the vitality from a single target, restoring yours. This Hocus can only be cast by the wicked. Special treats. By combining the power of the gauntlet with her marksmanship powers, Yaga can perform maneuvers far beyond any ordinary hunter's area. Ripping Claws. A special treat with a wide arc area effect. Toxic Veil. A special trait that creates a poisonous cloud on hit. Dread Gaze. A special trait which stuns an enemy on hit. Hexes. Manifestations of an animal within. Raven Hex. You can carry 6 more sticky arrows. Toxic fail and sticky arrows area of effect are bigger. Every enemy has a chance of dropping honey upon dying. Hex arrow sticky. Gold Hex. You can carry 6 more wooden arrows. Every time you dash, you become temporarily focused. Hex arrow wooden. Hair Hex. You're the jack of all the trades, but master of none. You can carry 3 more arrows of each type, and all the healing is more effective. Hex arrow wooden. Snake Hex. You can carry 6 more crystal arrows. Each magic arrow stakes 2 shards on impact. You take double damage. Enemies have a chance of dropping a crystal upon dying. Killing an enemy may restore mana. Hex arrow crystal. Already finished. Do you believe it? Already finished the skills. Resources. Tooth. One of the rarest alchemical ingredients. Due to its questionable harvesting opportunities, no doubt these can be often found in many treasure chests hidden throughout the land. No point in wondering who put them in there in the first place. Lost Page. These all look alike. They belong to the same ancient grimoire, yet, however arranged, they never seem to be in the correct order. They contain manuals for ancient techniques and recipes long lost. They are necessary for brewing certain skills, each of them requiring a specific corresponding page. Feather. Mostly useful for crafting arrows, the birds often drop these willingly, but a well-aimed arrow should convince even the most stubborn of them. Wood. Mostly useful for making arrows, be on the lookout for the dread bushes. Red herb. An offering for the shrine and an alchemical ingredient. These grow out in the wild. Their red hue clearly stands out from the rest of the vegetation. Honey. Honeycombs may be the most valued item in the land. Numerous species consider it as a treat or even a currency. It should come as no surprise that honey is produced by bees. Eye. While carrying a bunch of these in your bag may be questionable, they can provide quite useful on more than one occasion. There are certain particularly goggly spiders out in the wild that could supply a skillful archer with the eyes. Crystal. You should remember to stock up the crystal on the glass-like shards before facing poisonous enemies. Areas, as they are crucial for brewing antidotes. They can be often spotted near the larger crystal structures. Additionally, they can be obtained from Vodnik. Meat can be obtained from the hunting wild games. It regenerates your vitality completely, but needs to be roasted in the fire beforehand. Shelk. Pine cone-looking physical remains of Bubuk. They don't really mind being shot at, so do what you need to do to get them. Resources are done. Yeah, they are done just like that. Status. I hope I'm not wasting your time by reading the wiki for the game. Marcus, I know you want me to finish the game and see something more action-related, but I have to read through these to make sure we didn't miss anything. Regeneration. Your vitality regenerates gradually. Haste. Your movement speed is increased. Focus. Allow all of your shots deal critical damage. Unity. You gain passive bonuses from the morale stance opposed to your current while keeping all the bonuses you already have. Poison. Your vitality decreases gradually. This condition can be removed with an antidote. Slow down. Your movement speed is decreased. This condition can be counteracted with a hunter's potion. Confusion. Your dizzy aiming becomes much more difficult. This condition can be counteracted with a hunter potion. Porta's Pact. Don't worry about it, I would most likely be relaxing either way. I hope that you are finding this audiobook to be kind of interesting for reading. Don't worry, once we reach the collectibles and the lost and found, we'll be reading fables. Let me quickly check OBS. 1 hour and 1 minute. We still have at least 1 hour and a half. Porta's Pact. Dealing with that devil may yield some rewards, but the offering always comes with a catch. Pick your poison, pick it twice. Wine is acid, acid is wine. Such I make for a time. Yaga learned that this pact switches the effects of poison and regeneration. Clench your teeth and tighten muscles. Hunter's arm feels pain of prey. Any who's to harm the hunter shall now give her only care. Yaga learned that this one makes all the incoming damage heal her, and all the damage she deals harm her. Kind of temporal invincibility. At least this way I can catch up too. Thanks for the information. Good to know. Shall a moth mist light in dark, should all white be turned to black? And will actress play her arc, upside down and frontside back? This pact makes all the evil deeds count as good, and all the good count as evil. Heed me, heed, for I will say it once, maybe twice if you insist. Clever bird who hunts with wits, hardly ever shuns my gifts. This pact grants Yaga unlimited wooden arrows for a time. With this, we finished the status. Wow, that was quick. Land. I had to say it. Places. Various areas visited by Yaga on her journey. The hut. A curious place, that is for certain. The rest I will keep to myself for now. The yard. A little plot of land in the front of the hut, the gallery of toads. Village. A human settlement located on the opposite side of the lake, a place of bitter memories. Yaga's exile will not end until she has found Zora. She knows they will not accept her until then, but maybe they never will. Red Oak. A safe spot amidst all the chaos, at least it used to be, back when Yaga and Zora would escape here whenever the village was too much to handle. Temple. This old ruin remembers times when the first idols were built, constructed for an unknown purpose. It now draws Baba towards its dark holes. Upside Down Bridge. An unusual place, the last remnants of a long-lost upside-down kingdom, built before the stones decided a single direction towards which they would all gravitate, back when they were not unanimous in this matter. The kingdom is rumored to have fallen up toward the sky, never to be seen again. The bridge remained. It must have been constructed with all the possible directions of God in mind. This bridge makes me dizzy. Tower. The ingenious construction of this structure was said to have learned his craft in a place from which no sane mind returns. Screaming of agony rang true all around the tower as Darthka, his lust for power grew. It smelled of burned flesh in there. Gnoll's Island. The crown jewel of Gnoll architecture, the biggest gnome settlement in the area, a domain of Shirka, Shabl, built by a tribe whose name is long lost in time. Local humans have treated death in many different ways as their ages passed, but every time its meaning would be somewhat connected to this place, a place of decay. Sacred Grove. Its construction predates some of the oldest human accounts. Its walls are teeming with magic for ages past. The people from the village used to frequent this place and even tend to it until recently. It used to be it used to be considered a place of power, but as the new belief started to take over the ways of old, its popularity waned after the humans lost their interest. The Sacred Grove has befallen an infestation. The purpose of the inner grove, as well as the statue and its center, is lost in time. Mushroom Sanctuary. A place of beginning and ends, at least for some. Places is done. Wildlife. A fauna of the land. Babuk. Kind, owl-sized spirits who see everything and hear everything. They may look like a bit like pine cones, but they are much more talkative than pine cones. They do not seem to mind being shot. If knocked down, they will grumble some forced gossip in a long forgotten language only known by some. Their babble will aid you in your journeys should you ever get lost. Upon being shot, as their soul flies up, they'll leave behind shellocks, valuable crafting ingredients. Funny thing is that the long forgotten language only known by some they speak is Russian. I heard it multiple times. They speak Russian, that's it. How do I know it's Russian? Because I heard it multiple times through Black Book and through a channel named The Three Russian Heroes Cartoons. The Three Boygrats. Let's see here. Toad Bag. The baggy toad is also a magical gluttonous being who always knows where the leftovers are. Any resources you will come across that won't fit into your pockets will be munched upon by the toad. You can get them back by interacting with it by the campfire. Deer. Easy to startle, not that easy to hit on the run. These can be tracked down in groves. You might want to sneak up on the game before taking the shot. Bird. These fly around, always ready to be eaten, but since you aren't a cat, the only value they offer is their feathers. They often drop these as they land, and as they refuse to land, you can help them with a well-aimed arrow. Red Rose. As per folk gossip, these demonic plants steal the eyes of the misers, making them gaze upon their most prized possessions for eternity. The just and virtuous would likely see said flowers' unfair cruelty, while the depraved may let the punishment continue. Bees. Offering the bees a red herb will reward you with honey, though they won't deal with just anyone. Alternatively, you can shoot their hive down, or you could do both. The bees stick to their hives as long as they don't sense any evil nearby. They can otherwise be quite zealous, deflect or dash through to get rid of them. Hedgehog. It is unclear why hedgehogs deserve fruit so much, as their diet consists mostly of worms and insects. In any case, they seem grateful for your assistance in reaching the goal. Stick bug. These are said to be able to imitate wood as so well that they can actually be used to crafting resources. Just like regular stakes, if you happen to be rotten enough to treat them this way, that is. Bird trap. What may appear as a tangled branches is actually something of a more sinister nature. Demonic bird traps lure oblivious birds only to torment them endlessly. They are said to be manifestations of the will of Veles, who in that way pesters his brother god Piron. Whether this is true or not, one thing is clear: they do not eat the birds for their own survival. Shooting the bird trap will kill the bird inside. You can pry them open if you don't want the bird dead, that is. Ants. Thrones of the vicious ant queen. The breed of the ants inhabiting the forest is nothing but pure evil. The army's greed for land is unstoppable. The flames of their conqueror drive inextinguishable. They built ant molds as their basis of operations. They would uh, they would collapse if given a hefty enough push. Just something one might want to know. We finished off with wildlife. See here, idols. The many altars, monuments, and the places of worship. Some deities are more real than others. Some are gone, and some are ever watching. The faceless idol. The four-faced statue of an unknown deity. It doesn't seem like it was made for worship. Its purpose is rather practical, albeit cryptic and obscure. The ways of the old may remain a mystery. There is much more to this one than meets the eye. Shrine. Granting the weavers of life a flower offering may just win your fortune's favor. Using a red herb may save your skin when the dangers of the land become too much to handle. Use these to save your progress. Idol of Unity. An ancient shrine of balance, a symbol of ever-present ambiguity. Granting it an offering of various resources will bring unity to your mind and soul. Totem. A place for worship, these absorb the influence of the prayer's intentions, granting wisdom of the ages past. Then King Idol. Idols of the wind god is Tribog, carved in the days of the old. The exact way these work, as well as their original function, remains a mystery, but their practical application seemed clear as day. Shoot an arrow through one of those to appear next to it. Twin Idol. Idols of the twins Lil and Polil, carved in the times of immemorial. Their names almost forgotten, their roles long lost, their worship unpracticed. Peek through one to appear next to its counterpart. The artifact. Drifka's creation of immense power, capable of altering the very fabric of reality. Beware. Adults finish. Am I reading in a good speed or too quick? I'm honestly trying to finish reading this as quick as I can. Treasures. A prize for the bold. Chest. A plain old wooden chest. Who puts them out here in the wild? They seem to stand on chicken legs, but can they really move? And if so, do they do it on their own will? That we may never know, but this contains some of the most prized ingredients and curious. It is well worth looking out for. Chest beast. Wooden chest touched by the root. Their chaotic energy made them develop minds of their own, and the minds developed hatred. They will not open until the creature of their choosing lays dead, usually the ones lurking not far from the chest itself. It doesn't appear too slow or too fast, just about right. Good to know. We're almost hopefully done. Warden. The wardens are ancient reliquers as in from reliquaries that will open only to the ones they deem worthy. They cannot be cheated, and through magic long forgotten, will see and hear through one's glorious or not so glorious deeds. Treasures done. The roots. A single entry. The roots spread corruption across the land. They twist the minds of the dwellers of the land, making them go feral in one way or another. They are an abomination. They are an abomination, and their true nature is even more sinister than it may seem. These and the hut are one and the same. Their spread marks the hut's influence of the world. They can only be stopped by a force powerful enough to oppose the hut. Such force emerges once every few human generations. With the hut almost fully in Yaga's control, the roots will soon recede. Just a few steps remain. Crystal growth. We're already almost done. Ice-like formations that cover the land. Their nature remains a mystery, but their appearance seems to coincide with the increasing spread of the roots. A bold observer might risk theorizing that the crystals and the roots are somehow connected. The crystals seem unbreakable and resistant to conventional damage. They can grow on living matter, rendering said matter nearly indestructible. And if said living matter's intentions were hostile, it would wish the best of luck. I wish the best of luck to the poor soul trying to defeat such an enemy. If only there were something as hard as crystal to shatter them. Maybe a certain weapon could have been made to deal with them. Then again, I don't suppose any craftsman could have developed a technique for such a feat, since the crystals themselves seem to be a novelty, or are they? Basically, the only way to break them is through the crystal arrows. Finally, we reach collection. Not that bad. Collections. Dolls. Rather creepy dolls of an unknown origin. They all seem familiar somehow. Doll of Volko. This one looks a bit like Volko. It has some tears. Doll of Slavica. This one looks a bit like Slavica. It's soaked, rotten, and moldy. Doll of Dragoi. This one looks like a Dragoi. It has some burn marks. Burn because he tried to burn her. Slavica because she threw her into the chasm alongside the rot and the mold. Volko. The tears because he tried to cut her. Interesting. Now I just noticed that. Toads. These peculiar amphibians seem to have undergone some magical transformations. The toad belonged to the yard. Well-wisp toad. Restless in its attempts to fly away, completely oblivious to the fact that toad don't fly. Rose toad. Endlessly obsessed with its treasures, this rosy sure has its thorns. Imp toad. It tries to snatch some things from your bag with its clumsy toad hands. Its kleptomaniac nature doesn't fit well with its amphibian body. Vodnik toad. Very slimy, even for a toad. Dragon toad. While this clearly is a toad, gazing upon it brings about the terror as if staring into the eyes of a massive dragon. Bushman toad. There is something vicious and primal about this one, as if the only thing stopping its savage bloodlust was its being a toad. Stone toad. Stalwart and immovable and heavy. Amber spiders. Spiders trapped in amber with their stories frozen in time. If you want to see them, I will show them once we're done. That child eater. This one will whisper the memories of a child eater. The evil eye. This one will whisper the memories of the evil eye. The spirit. This one would whisper the memory of the spirit of the forest. The keeper. This one would whisper the memories of the keeper of secrets. Found and lost. Oh boy, this will be very long. I'll skip it for now quickly because I want to reach the others. Knowledge. This one is quick. Wisdom of the gnoll kind, or perhaps a version of it. Unworth. Once I pondered on worth, what value does a crown jewel have for starving gnolls? So it shall be such that worth is only in what's sweet and warm, and soft and shiny, such as honey. So honey is much more worthy than precious stones. Makes sense. On humans. Once I observed the small bare-skinned walkers wandering aimlessly. They looked for meaning under rocks, and in the sky, and on the tips of their spears. And so I knew they were an inferior species, for they did not know Kal Merzed, the highest goal. On gnomes. Once I remembered the one gone with their little pointy hats and pointless singing, and their weakness for humans, who seem to ignore their dark of otherworldly origins. So we shall become as the ones gone, and full humans too, so they do not interfere with Kal Merzed, the highest goal. On place and time. Once I pondered on when and where I was, and never was I yesterday nor tomorrow, and never was I far away, or for every time I was only here and now, never any other place and time were real. On the world tree. Once I noticed the perfect balance in the world around me. Wherever I went, there was as much suffering as there was joy, as much hatred as there was love. So if there are places of endless, unbroken happiness, they must exist beyond this world. Such must be the root and the higher branches of the world tree. On construction. Once I dreamt of shapes beyond nature, perfect in their forms. Then I knew no animal, nor human, nor demon could bring them into the world, none but the gnoll. And so we construct on gods. Once I saw a gnoll paint a hunter fighting a beast, and the painted hunter felt real fear, since the painted beast was real to him, not knowing they both were just a painting. And we would not know if we were a painting either. But if the painted hunter ever starts painting too, then we will know there are gods above us. The highest goal. Once I discovered the purpose of gnoll kind, only in the youngest branches of the world tree there can be endless eternal peace, and only in their both the perfect forms of and only in their both perfect forms and God's will. So we will build up higher than the boldest of birds to the world beyond, such as Kal Merzed, the highest goal. Sorry, but once I start reading, I need to finish it so that I can focus on something else. On stubbornness. Once I learned that only what is built in the mind is eternal, all the constructions of the gnoll were weak to time, all but those of theory and thought, but the rest of the gnoll kind did not heed my words, as they were too obsessed with matter. I now know they would never reach Kal Merzed, the highest goal. On the roots. Once I remained alone, the rest of the gnolls believed they would reach Kal Mazet by work, so they built up, and by invention, so they dreamt of flying, and by war, so they conquered endlessly. And I saw that the highest goal can only be reached by taming the greatest chaos. I could hear its humming, whispering my name as it spread across the land. The roots were Kal Mazet. So your highest goal was literally the corruption itself. What irony is this? Theorems. I think you will be interested in what this is, because it's very much religious. Marcus. Theorems. Wisdom of the ages past. Piran and Velis. Sworn rivals among the gods, Piran is the lord of skies and thunder, an eagle on the highest branches of the world tree. Velis is the god of the underworld, a cunning trickster, teasing and provoking his counterpart by shapeshifting and spreading chaos across the land. Weavers of life. Aurora's fates, the three sisters, daughters of Rod, god of family, ancestors, and fate. The first weaves the thread of fate. The second measures it, and the third cuts it with her shears. They intertwine times, places, and events. Their favor and lack thereof is believed to be the cause of luck and misfortune accordingly. Souls and incarnations. The nature of the soul is dual. The human part of the spirit is the one originating in the mortal realm, as one which has to endure one's passions, deeds, and emotions, born to one's material life. This element was conceived out of Velis's will, and it shall return to his underworld domain after death. Its counterpart is the immortal ancestral part, which reflects the wisdom and experience of the forefathers. This element is the manifestations of Piran's will. After the human's demise, the ancestral soul would split from the human soul to embark on a journey spanning from the roots of the world tree to its very crown in the heavens above. The world the birds wintering in the branches of the world tree would bring the ancestral soul back as they return in the following spring. The ancestral soul would then be fused with a newborn human soul of the same lineage, and so it goes. Basically, there's no heaven or hell. You will just be endlessly reincarnated. And how does it end? I think it never ends. I think the Slavic never believed really in having a hell or heaven. You were just immortal. That's it. World tree. Is this supposed to be just the same as the Norse Yggdrasil, the world tree? I don't know. All places and all times, all places and events, it all forms a tree. Its branches in the skies and in the future, and where the souls of the kind-hearted are. Its roots in the underworld and in the past, and where the damned souls lie. The higher one. The omnipresent singular entity, the source of all there is. It is possible the four-faced idol that were here long before the eldest of man portrayed this highest overpower. Their gaze is set upon four sides of the world. No true sentence about the higher one can be uttered, as it is beyond words, beyond comprehension. Guardians. A lineage of wise women originating from times immemorial. They were somehow connected to the some unspoken elder manifestation of chaos. Whether they worshipped or fought, it is not clear. Beginning of their bloodline may predate even the mysterious idols spread across the land. Some folk tale go as far as attributing the idols' construction to the guardians themselves. They were inextricably linked to the hut. Basically, all the witches. The winter effigy. The winter effigy, Marzana, the goddess of cold, frost, winter, and death. Every spring, the village folk perform a ritual of burning the effigy of Marzana. The purpose of the rite is to banish the winter, allowing the spring to begin and the land to recover from the overwhelming cold. Really? Wow. The Midsummer Night. The rites of the Midsummer Night have mostly matrimonial purposes. There are various activities involving in celebrating this occasion: jumping above the bonfire, setting the flower crown on the water, searching for the fern flower. The purpose of all these customs is to bring the village youth together. By the way, we already did them all in Black Book. We lived through these events, all of them. The Forefathers' Eve. The Forefathers' Eve is a celebration in memory of the dead, in hopes of guiding the lost souls toward the hereafter. The most common practices include feeding and watering the wayward spirits during dedicated feasts. Other gestures of hospitality for the dead involve lighting up the guiding light or bonfires or setting up baths. The favor of the dead is desired, and their disapproval is not only disrespectful but also results in bad fortune or even a curse. Kool-Aida. Kool-Aida? Okay. The winter rites are joyful celebrations dedicated to Velis, intended to appease the underworld god and his snakes, the sworn enemies of the sun. Among the noteworthy customs were breaking and sharing the bread, the divining and diving. Wait a minute. And divining the following year's course, such as the weather and harvest. It's time of unexpected guests and abrupt farewells. Underworld. A place where all the souls go after they are freed from their corporal shells. Some stay there longer than others. A dark nether world of snakes ruled by villains. Finally, day and night. The light of the brightest day only exists in the face of the darkest night's darkest moment. Totems are done. Now only two remain. Rats and Founders, that's it. Then we go finish the game. The rats. Lost in a twisted maze of an elder mind, twitchy souls who have succumbed to the will of the superior predator. Perhaps they knew too much, perhaps they were just too tasty to be left alone. Now for the found and lost, because this one will be a little bit lengthy since we have 18 stories to read through. Don't worry, these are interesting. Fables withered by time, their meanings lost and found anew. We've been reading right now for 1 hour and a half. It's highly possible we may be able to jump into the game's finale or the final of it before this stream ends. Who knows? How are you doing so far, Marcus? Does any of what I have read so far make sense to you? Or nothing makes any sense? Once we finish the Found and Lost, that's it. We will just go straight to the end game and finish it. Because by then I would have read everything and showed everything. The Dragon Slayer, Part 1. Once upon a time, there was a fearsome dragon. No knight nor hunter could ever beat the beast, and its appetite grew by the day. And as more of the king's men lost their lives to the beast, his sons decided to prove their valor. They challenged the beast, and after a long and exhausting fight, slew it. The kingdom regaled in joy, but sadly, only one of the heroes survived to tell the tale. For his bravery and wit, he was then named a king. The Dragon Slayer, Part 2. His reign, however, did not last long, as the real reason behind his brother's demise has become a burden too heavy to bear. As the dragon perished, its lair caved in, trapping the brothers inside. Soon after came whispers from the dark. Something slithered down the walls. The voice from the deep spoke of the throne. Only one of the brothers could take it, and now was the perfect occasion for only one to be left alive. The heroes resisted the whispers for long enough, but as the hours went by, their will grew weaker. Then, one moment, one of the brothers snapped. When the rubble was removed, only one of them emerged alive. The newly crowned king never ceased to hear whispers, however. Day by day, they drove him mad, as he heard his late brother's voice among them. When it became too much for him, he took his own life using the very blade that spilled his brother's blood. The Sleeping Beauty, Part 1. Once upon a time, a princess was cursed to fall asleep forever if she ever pricked her finger on a spindle. As the spindles were forbidden throughout the kingdom, she lived in a healthy and wealth for many years. And one day she visited a weaver in her hut, and there was a spindle in there. The aged woman did not know about the kingdom's rules, as she lived in seclusion. As soon as the princess touched the accursed tool, she fell asleep, and with her the entire court. Years went by and turned to decades. As the kingdom turned to ruin, one day a prince from the neighboring kingdom stumbled upon the long-forgotten castle. He ventured inside, cutting his path through thorns, vines, and the roots. As he reached the sleeping princess, he was amazed by her beauty. As he kissed her, he broke the curse, and she finally awakened. The prince then took the princess as for his wife, and by his side ruled as king. The Sleeping Beauty, Part 2. But the princess was not the same, as the roots have abandoned her court, but not her body. She may have looked human, but she did not act like one. She grunted and mumbled incoherently instead of talking, and instead of all the courtly pastimes, she would rather break and tear all the gifts which were given to her. But one day the kingdom was once again abandoned as a gruesome tragedy took place. The prince had ignored his bride's unusual habits for a day too long. The princess went for his throat. The thorns, vines, and root took the castle back. These Slavic takes on the popular myths are amazing. The False Shepherd. The False Sheep, Part 1. A fearsome dragon reigned cruelly over the land. No warrior could beat the beast in combat. Wait a minute, I already did this, correct? The Dragon Slayer, no. This one is the new one. A fearsome dragon reigned cruelly over the land. No warrior could beat the beast in combat. And as more and more of warriors fell, no salvation was in sight. Then one day, a wayward shoemaker decided to trick the beast. Being a thoughtful As thoughtful as he was, he stuffed a sheep with sulfur, dough, tar, and hair. He then placed the contraption in the front of the dragon's lair. As the gluttonous beast swallowed the fig offering, it became thirsty beyond imagination. The dragon rushed to the nearby river and started drinking. As it drank and drank, its belly steadily grew, but its thirst could not be quenched. One last sip tipped the scales and the beast exploded. The shoemaker was then named king and ruled for years to come. However, the false sheep part 2. The trickery and ruthlessness which granted him the throne soon corrupted his soul. The dragon hoarded countless riches and tomes of knowledge best forgotten. As the newly crowned king delved into its lair, his mind was taken by the newfound powers, the newfound obsession with it. And as was the sheep skinned, so was anyone who would pry into the king's interest in an unusual growth he had found in the dragon's cave. The tyrant's ploys deprived his subjects of all their wealth, and when famine took the land's fruit, the ruler feasted on human flesh just like the dragon before him. Three Little Piggies. Part 1. Three little piggies worked to build their houses. The first of them played all day long, and only in the evening put together some straws and leaves for a hut. The second played for half a day, and in the afternoon it built a house out of wood. The third piggy worked hard all day to build a house made of brick. The big bad wolf came hungry for pork, and he huffed and puffed and blew down the first pig's house as it tried to hide, and so the piggy ran to the wooden house to hide with the second one. And the wolf followed and huffed and puffed and blew down that one too. Then the piggy ran to the brick house. The wolf huffed and puffed, but the house won't budge, so he climbed to the roof and tried to sneak in through the chimney. Three little piggies then lit up a fire in the fireplace, and the big bad wolf ran away with its tail all burned. However, Three Little Piggies Part 2. And then came the time of fear, for the wolf could have returned any time. So piggies all worked all day and night, and after the houses came walls and a stronghold, and then the work became a goal itself, as domes and palaces and statues were raised in its name. All the piggies huffed and puffed, but the third piggy wouldn't budge, for only all the work and no play made it feel safe. It mumbled incoherently and an endless growth, the blooming end of covering more and more land. And the wolf was long dead already. So all day work and no fun at all made him so much workaholic, to the point where the wolf was long dead, but they went completely insane. Snow White, Part 1. Once upon a time, in a root-infested kingdom, an evil witch queen wanted a princess dead so that her reign could be unthreatened for years to come. Disguised as an old woman, she gave the princess a poisoned apple. As she took a bite, she dropped to the floor, seemingly dead. The princess's friends have laid her in a crystal coffin. Then one day, a prince was riding by. When he noticed the coffin, he was charmed by the princess's beauty and begged her keepers to give her away. After he had his wish, he arranged for the coffin to be moved to his castle. As the carriage hit a bump on the road, the coffin fell off. A piece of the poisoned apple fell out of the princess's mouth, and she sprang back to life. Soon enough, she married the prince, and they lived happily for days to come. However, Snow White Part 2. But not many days had left. The queen's obsession with the princess made her oblivious to the root devouring her kingdom. And finally, the princess seemed dead. The old witch realized it was too late to stop the sprawl. With the news of the princess's demise spreading across the land, vivid description of her beautiful crystal coffin followed along, and then the queen realized it must have been made out of some fabled crystal which made eternal anything encased within. And so she ordered the prince to bring her the coffin. The princess's carelessness brought the princess back to life, but this was of no concern to the queen anymore, since all she cared about now was the preservation of her own life. As the new witch celebrated, the witch queen was nowhere to be found. As the root devoured the kingdom, the witch queen slept in the crystal coffin, awaiting the accursed sprawl retreat. So, in the Slavic version of Snow White, the kingdom itself died while the queen herself survived. Amazing. The Seven Dwarfs, Part 1. Middle of the forest, every day they worked their mine, singing happy songs as they went along. Then one day, an unexpected visitor appeared in their abode, a naive girl on the run with an evil witch wanting her dead. They tried as hard as they could to protect the girl from the witch, but one day the witch had her wish and the girl was dead at last. To honor her memory, they decided to bury her according to the ancient dwarven customs. For that, a coffin of magical crystal needed to be made, so they dusted off their oldest writings and maps, and soon they began to mine for the precious mineral. Soon enough, they constructed the coffin, and the princess's body was preserved from decay. Then one day, a wayward traveler offered to move the coffin to a more suitable place, and the dwarves agreed. Then they went back to mining, as this was what they mattered most for them. The Seven Dwarfs, Part 2. And soon they reached something beyond their comprehension in the crystal shaft. A tunnel led them to a cave of the origin darker than what they could have known or imagined. Breaking through layers upon layers of crystal revealed a spacious chamber with sculptures and carvings unlike anything they have ever seen. Not even a few days passed when the ancient chamber was full, overgrown by the roots. It was as if the crystal shell the dwarves broke through was the only thing keeping the accursed sprawl away from it. The dwarves were fascinated by the chamber. It seemed that the place brought out questions, one hidden deep within their minds. They spent days, weeks, months pondering them, endlessly asking, contemplating without rest. And as the corruption of the roots steadily grew, there was less and less that mattered for them. Only endless questions and doubts, only shadows of their past. Ages passed, and the chamber encased in crystal was rediscovered, and in it the dwarves intact, as if not even a day went by. But their looks were empty, for they were neither dead nor alive, but something else entirely. I am getting too much into reading these fables that I think my reaction is getting the best of me. Wow. The Three Bears, Part 1. One morning, when three bears returned to their cottage in the middle of the forest, they noticed their house was all in disarray. First, they found their porridge eaten, and then their chairs moved, and then at the end of the trail of a mess, one of their beds occupied by a sleeping girl. In their further rage, the bears scared the girl beyond imagination, and so she ran off to the wild. This is the story about Goldilocks and the Three Bears. However, the Three Bears, Part 2. But the bears chased her down, as they always did, and tore her to pieces, as they always did. At that very moment, the forest began to dissolve right before their eyes, and once again the lights of their conjurers' candles phased through the thick smoke of the burned sage herbs. and the faithful crowd wept in sorrow as the three penitent souls of the sinners once again failed to contain their rage and to prove their compassion in their sacred trial. And even with all the wishful prayer and the conjurer's greatest efforts, once again they were forbidden to break their endless circle of redemption and ascend to the heavens above. And so the loop of unending chances and failures was complete yet again, as the wrathful spirits would have to wait until the next forefathers' eve, like they have been waiting for ages already. Okay, two more stories and we're done. Two more stories and we're done. The Stone Shepherd Part 1. Not that long ago, a very pious aged man with his strength long lost wanted to contribute to the construction of a nearby temple. The workers did not have much use for him as he was weak and brittle. They told him off to fetch some heavy rocks, knowing well that the old man will never muster the might to move them. As the pious man reached the clearing where the rocks lay, he tried with all his strength to push and pull, but none of them moved even an inch. Instead of giving up, he resorted to faith. As he prayed, the gods seemed to have smiled upon him. The rocks began following him like the sheep following their shepherd. When he returned to the boulders, they all froze in awe as they observed the temple build itself out of the sheer will of the gods. Part 2. The Stone Shepherd, Part 2. Or at least that was what the stones made them believe. The rocks have learned long ago that men will arrange them into the most intricate formations as long as they believe they are in control, and the ways of the stone are such that they yearn to be put together, possibly out of nostalgia for the times long gone when they were one, as they observed and learned to be exactly where they needed to be, so that they could be arranged by humans. The stones could never allow themselves to be seen moving on their own, as they were not fond of unwanted attention. So when the opportunity arose, not only to be neatly arranged by humans, but also to blame their movement on the gods' will, they did not hesitate to seize it. The last story, we're done. The Snow Queen Part 1. A boy and a girl were friends. Then one day a crystal shard fell out of the sky and struck the boy in the eye. He then became bitter and would despise all that was good. Soon after, he was kidnapped and imprisoned in a castle made of ice at the end of the world. The girl set out on a grand adventure to find her friend, and after many months she finally reached the accursed castle. Her tears melted the boy's heart, and the shard fell out of his eye. They escaped the castle and returned to their happy lives. However, the Snow Queen Part 2. But they were both changed beyond recovery. The crystal shard made the boy see so much evil he could not return to the life he once had. Even when the shard itself was long gone, the girl suffered so much hatred and cruelty on her journey, there was no going back for her. There was no going back for her either. They would wake up screaming and pondering for the rest of the night. If there are gods above us, do they even care for the monstrosities of the humankind? Years earlier, had the fallen god Veles had the same thought, so he crafted an enchanted crystal mirror for Piran, so that he could see the shameful imperfections of the human's world, even in his remote domain in the heavens above. But the lightning god despised the artifact, and before Veles could reach him, he shattered the accursed mirror with his thunder. The shards drained down on the ground, striking bitterness in the hearts of the many men they struck. But refusing to face the impurity of his world, Piran brought the plague of resentment upon humankind. Amazing. Amazing. And with that, we literally finished reading the almanac. All of it. Let me quickly check on OBS. 1 hour and 55 minutes. Good. We still have some time. Okay, fine. Let's go. Finished reading the entire wiki in almost 2 hours. Almost. Which means we already watched all the cutscenes in the previous stream, so I will not be repeating them. Let me give you one last fishbone. Let's go. It's about time we finish the game. Props to the creators of this game for putting so much effort into making the almanac. I thought you went away from my continuous reading. What do you think about the stories?
Mostly, she would keep to herself.
Let's go. We have 3 cursed souls to go and deal with.
Mostly. She was only human after all. It so happened she gave birth to 2 daughters. Twins. It does ring a bell, doesn't it?
Why did I have a feeling it would all end like this?
She has never loved anyone more than them. The folk have always pinned down their evil fate. So they chose to get rid of her.
They...
It's about time for us to go and deal with our 3 bullies. I didn't go away. I was here, but sometimes you would just put into the background. I would do that whenever I listen to audiobooks. Yeah, you will put them in the background and just listen with your complete focus on them. That's normal. Okay. Am I going to the correct path? I think so, yeah. Any disgusting spawners for enemies? Yeah, there is one there. Since I already know about the myth, we are playing its origins, and I know how it happens. Not this game, but the actual myth itself. I have decided how I will be dealing with the enemies. Stop it! So if this took from me the majority of the time of the stream itself. Would you like to stop for a moment? No more running around. Number 1.
In her last moments, Gordana managed to hide her children away. All the twins will ever see of their mother are the parting gifts she left them. them safe from the peasants' wrath. While the distance between them steadily grew, the time she had left was running out ruthlessly. And so it goes.
Does this narration ring any bells for you? Does it make any sense?
Your heritage has burdened you, even as you were oblivious to it. And it always will.
What the hell? Was I a snake?
I told you there was something more to this mask.
Just noticed one comment didn't send that might be why you thought I was aware, but it wasn't nothing important. Just as I mentioned that I was glad it showed the time I spent watching your stream in the dashboard. Good to know. Now let's get moving because we have some work to do. Go play with Broom. Go play with Broom.
Please. Wait.
Play with Broom. Two.
Oh no. Isn't that the bully?
He's trapped.
Convenient.
Hi.
I beg you. Bastard. Murderer. Why? Why did you? Why did you do this to me?
But it wasn't... You've been hurting me for too long, Volko.
I always did what my old man told me to. A witch deserves nothing more than a good stake in fire, he said. And he knew a thing or two about witches.
Oh.
Great apologize, I don't care about it anymore.
I just hope I won't regret this. Feel free. Get out of my sight.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Yaga. So sorry.
Don't worry, Yaga.
After your mother's demise, there was no one to contain the heart. The person was wise, strong. Oh, don't look at me now. Far beyond such concerns. My role here is of a different nature.
Of course.
A break in the Guardian lineage would shake the land to its core. The roots have been spreading far and wide for years.
Everything they touch turns so out of place. Like from an entirely different story.
And Gordana's soul? Well, it will find no rest until our daughters are safe. And they never really were.
Daughters. I'll have to get used to the sound of that.
It wasn't until the forefathers' Eve, 3 years ago, that things changed. I think you know well, don't you?
Let's see here. The secondary bow attack is supposed to be bash. Since I don't see how it hurts enemies. Your only weapon is the bow, and it's 3 types of arrows. The dash ability is not an attack. It should quickly help you sprint through the game itself. Your other attack is using your gauntlet for the hocuses. Since nothing drops on the ground from it, Volkos looks like a bit like an astronaut. Let me get this set with you. Volko's family taught him that Yaga and Zora were both witches, and they deserved to burn and die. Volko took it upon himself to listen to his mother and tried to violate Yaga before killing her and cutting off her hand. The hand that had the gauntlet on it. And because of his endless stream about vulgarity about their mother and their parents, who their mother was with, and if they were truly bastard children or not. Yaga got so sick of him as the village's bully that she wanted nothing anymore to do with him.
The sparks blow him away.
Next up, Baba took him. The funny thing is that the only way for you to get the best possible ending is to send all of your bullies into heaven. Why? Not because you are playing as the adult here, the sane one here, no. It's because if you remember very well the name of the myth itself, yeah, no matter what you do, regardless what you do, you will always remain cursed. You are the daughter of Gordana, turned Baba. Therefore, justice in this world doesn't exist. Simply put. This justice in this world doesn't exist. Never did and never will. I wouldn't mind going to Mr. Larva in the underworld, as long as I will never meet again with the humans. A logical mind would tell you to send all the 3 of them to hell where they belong, with Venice. But again, being righteous and moral and whatnot means you need to be supposedly more merciful, which is nonsense. Tell me, if you were in my place and you lived all of your life with the very cares of your own parents, and every day and every night they would curse at you, call you names, and sacrilege your parents' name, would you and their life suddenly were put in your own will to decide? You send them to heaven or to hell.
Blood from her blood was spilled. Gordana's soul could not remain indifferent to that. Almost as if the heart
But yeah, I'm sending the 3 bullets to heaven because I know there is no place for me in it. That's what I choose. Volko only followed his father's rules, and I believe in individualism. Every individual cannot be attacked for the belief of their own parents or their ancestors.
Tormented soul got trapped in the roots, and thus a demon was born. Evil from the woods already had a name among the common folk. Baba. Obviously.
And as for Slavitza, she lost her lover, so she went completely sentimental and insane. And she thought I was the reason for her loss. I'm sending you all to heaven, because in hell I shall dwell.
Gordana is the care for her children. The care that the roots have twisted, molded into a savage instinct. The demon will not rest until it reconnects with the twins. By any means. Nor will it rest before all who cross them are punished.
If she truly would never rest until all of those who crossed us are punished, she should have deleted the entire village. Not only the 3 bullies, the entire village. But oh well, witches in the Slavic are always cast. So yeah, our fate is with villains, regardless who they worship. Hi.
It feels so...
Please be careful not to bite your own tongue.
killer.
Go play with Broom and give me some hit points. Get out of my face!
Ugly bird. Thank you.
Get out of my face!
Don't kill me. Bastard. Found. Witch. Let me go.
Someone's on it.
Please. Wait. She's here.
And she won't run away this time.
Killer.
Thanks for the resources.
Ugly bird.
Is that you? Little ugly bird.
Not so little anymore, Slavitsa.
I didn't mean to. We could have been. But
I know. Your crush wasn't the best influence, was he?
Volko. I miss him so much. You know where he is?
I don't want to see your faces ever again. Go to heaven and let me part with you as well.
Maybe the two of you can still find peace together. Feel free.
Take your thanks and his apology and shove them up your bottoms. I don't need them.
Birds of a feather. And where's...
Zora? She had realized following the spirits would lead her towards the truth. And so she set off into the wild. What for, may I ask? To clear you of the accusations, of course. Out of love. She tried to help you live among the people, but they were never your people, were they? They will never be. However, you are no ugly duckling anymore. Your inner strength finally shines through. Zora has always known you've had it buried deep within. That's why she never gave up.
Let's get this area. But then we're done.
Her absence only made you grow. One way or another, she succeeded.
But where is she?
Well, your sister's fate is not for me to tell you, but for you to learn on your own.
Okay. Let's see here. Are we recording everything now? Yeah, good. Good. We still have at least 10 more minutes. I hope we can actually finish the game within this time limit. I don't want to start a full video just for a single boss fight. Have to. How am I able to just jump through everywhere? Because we went through this same exact thing just last stream when I didn't finish the game. I have some idea about what's waiting for me and where to go. Can't see anything. Good work. It's right behind me. Good work. Hi.
What about your fate? Whether you have walked down a path of light or a path of darkness matters not. Only that it was yours. For being good or evil truly means naught in the face of being one with oneself.
You might as well just finish it in this session, since I will leave right after. We'll see. Dealing with them will be very quick because we already did it once, so I don't have to question myself what to do. think once.
Despite all that, there's still a part of you haven't absorbed yet. You've been denying it for so many years, covering it with a false face, with your mask. But you can't keep it confined forever. It is there, awakened, howling, rattling its cage. Something raw, terrifying.
Let's finish this game. I will finish this game now. It's about time we finish this project. All of the road. Our mask. Dragoy.
See how your mask is? You're welcome.
Goddamn rude. Don't kill me.
Turquoise.
What is it now?
Please.
Funny how you ask for someone else's forgiveness when you kill the bastard right away. Run to the broom. Just one. Done yet? Supposed to be three. Yes, that's one. That's the last one. Will we get to vote the next game? Feel free to leave a link. Let's see. Let's see. Why, you don't like this one? Or Cyberpunk? Done.
Goddamn rude.
Now what?
Please.
Is this a glitching now?
Please.
Sniffed.
Family. Is it you, Yaga?
It's me, Dragoy.
It's so dark in here. It's so cold. I know I deserve no better. I did wrong, Yaga. So wrong.
You sure where we act now, think later type?
That gingerbread heart you gave me. I never got to tell you.
Send him to paradise. Let's get going down with this. We have Zora to look after.
One mistake should not define us. See you in another life, friend.
In 1,000 years. In 1,000,000 years.
Just get lost.
And so it goes. I'll wait for you by the gate.
If you don't mind, I need to take a bathroom break very quickly. And once I return back, I will finish the game. We're done. Where am I? Looks like I accidentally... Hold it. Now I remember where I am. I shouldn't have gone down here. It's okay. Here. This is the right way. Yeah, this is it.
You made it that far, and you've confronted the spirits of your friends on the way.
I did what had to be done.
Oh, more than you know. And what's more important, you have faced yourself too. But you will have to do it again and again. The next time is waiting just around the corner. You may want to make some preparations beforehand. Because once you're inside, there will be no coming back. And nothing will remain the same. You will survive only if you accept the other side, whatever it may be. As for me, this is the farthest I can go. The rest of the story is yours and yours alone. I'll see you in another fairy tale.
Goodbye, friend.
One moment. I'll go to the bathroom, and then the moment we come back, we'll finish this playthrough, all of it. I'll put OBS here on the direct back screen for the last time. Usually, I would go for a mug of coffee or tea. That would take from me usually 20 minutes before I come back, but this time, no. I'd rather we finish everything quickly off. By the way, once we finish the game itself, there's a little bit of an extra content I'll be adding for it. Not as in extra bonus video, no. And that's a very same video as well. To explain exactly what mythology we are playing through, its origins. If you wish to stick for the after game, stick. If you don't want, it's up to you, really. Let's go. Let's finish this game. Point of no return. This is the point of no return. If you proceed, you will not be able to go back. If you still have any matters left unattended, now's the last chance to get them done. A special save will be created in a dedicated slot. Everything is recording correctly? Yeah? Good. Firefox is rendering? Good. Let's finish this. Beyond this gate lies the truth only. The past shall be left. Walk through the gate, turn back.
There will be no coming back.
And nothing will remain the same. There's no shadow without light. No light without shadow. The unity starts with you and me.
Find Zora. Places. Prison of Souls. An uneasy place of wonder, a structure of which the beginnings end. It's designed to match none of the ages past and none of the ones to come. Part dream, part matter, it is beyond its walls where Baba's domain lies. Still need to go through this? It's fine, ready. What are we exactly collecting? I think it's all kinds of resources.
The roots didn't go easy on these.
Rootling hives. Seal them with sticky arrows. That's the area, isn't it? Let's go. Hurry up. Destroy him. Wow, I've been here 2 hours and 25 minutes already. Yeah. I know. Shocking, isn't it?
Not now. Too dangerous around.
Are you kidding me? Fine. Just go. What happened? Get out of my sight now. They're trying to make me use all of my skills and some cards. I'm not stopping this session until the game is done. We are here for the end. I think the idols here are to tell me that I can come back to here whenever I want. You can also use them if you wish. Can I go and save my game anywhere around here? Zora?
It's
Princess.
Zora's doll. So she's...
You've decided you're ready to come here. But the price might be too high.
like you've ever cared. I could die out there and you wouldn't give a damn about it.
One day I will. But things have changed. I don't want to tear everything down. I'll salvage what.
Meaning me. Oh, thank you for your mercy. Can't you see I've been showing you grace all this time? I could have gotten rid of you a long time ago. I could have thrown you away.
Throw me away?
Yes, throw away the mask. Isn't that what you are? Just a mask to cover up my sins? But I don't give a shit about what people think anymore, or what they'll do to me. Once upon a time, there was a freak with no face. Guess what? The real me doesn't need a mask to hide behind anymore.
You got it all wrong, Princess. The truth.
And stop calling me that! I don't need you, don't you get it? I don't! Just shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Good.
Oh, Zora. I hope we get a save point soon. Would it be okay after you finish the game to quickly show me the public hours you have reached so I can keep track? Yeah, sure. For the love of God, give me a save point. So Zora's dead. Zora died. Is there any save point around here? Please?
Hello? Anyone? What do you know? She really did shut up. That feels good for a change. Gone for quite a while now. Feels weird. You got it all wrong, Princess. The truth. What were you trying to say there?
Huh? What are you doing here? I'm getting sick of these enemy alerts. This is the reason, huh? Okay, they're gone now.
May your hand be just, but your shield is patient.
Let's go. Where's Zora? It's okay, don't worry. No worries. What happened? I see lots of idols, but where do I go now? Okay, forward.
Hey, are you there? Look, we don't have to talk about that ever.
Sure, princess. Just move your ass like I told you to.
They're losing your mind.
Nothing. Zora? I'm coming.
Losing your mind completely, Yaga. Reminds me of myself. Let's go. We already set the game.
Once upon a time, there were two twin sisters.
Zora. Was it your... Oh no. I knew it. I failed. I didn't... I didn't...
Don't blame yourself, sister. For my fate was sealed before you even left the village.
Help Zora. As per usual, but this time there are no books. What she's interested in is the dolls.
Baba.
Just a spell of bad luck. Misadventure. Tragic reality of life.
Why are you still here then?
Baba may have had no hand in my demise, but she still craves my soul. She will torment me forever. She torments the soul of our mother. You need to stop her, or she devours you as well.
That's Zora's soul.
You can still save us.
Baba.
It's time.
It's Zora.
You have no say. No power.
I'm...
Face Baba.
For the heart. Come on. Piece that together.
Weak, way too weak, way too weak. My attacks are too weak.
No. I can do this. Try harder.
It's out time now. What do I do now? Don't know. Never before. I've never fought it here before. One crystal? So it's the crystals. It's the crystal arrows. I need to create a bomb around her heart. Well done. I need to create a bomb around her heart. That's how. The strongest weapons are the wooden arrows, but I need to use the crystal ones.
I need you. Can you hear me? I'm ready. I am ready. Without you, I'm nothing. I'm just your... Please don't play with me. I said, I need you! Or maybe all I need is...
I'm impressed. Finally, I can feel it all. You are ready. When I have this dance, I'll hold you so tight. Thanks, but no thanks.
One on eight of each. You removed from me. Wait a minute. Did you remove from me my skills? Why did you only 8 of them only? This is how it's done then. Infinite! 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 Not 8, it's infinite! Coward! It's not just that, it's infinite, infinite, infinite. What is that? A new heart. These are for good healing. Come on now. What?
It hurts like hell.
A full arena all out attack. No. No.
That was close.
You gotta be kidding me.
What is this?
I know how to return a favor, miss. A brooding begins now.
Mr. Lava. Right on time, as always.
Thank you.
I'll try anyway.
Come on. We can do it. We must do it. She's almost done for. She's almost done for. Come on. Die.
You betcha.
Oh, no, no, no. 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 No.
You can't touch me.
Hunter's potion. Game over. Come on. Game set. Come on.
Piece of shit.
Come on now. Game set and done.
Something happens. Something happens.
Game over. Hello?
Are you still there?
Are you?
That was quite an adventure.
You did good.
Things I said. Without you, I'd never make it. Without you,
You did good, Princess.
I finally know who you are. And what I am. For so long, I thought you were my...
Mask.
Yeah,
You've come a long way.
we have. Funny I never asked your name.
Funny, I never asked yours.
It's time.
You made up your mind.
I did.
The mask. It's gonna be all right. You'll be all right. I will carry you.
So... it's a goodbye.
See you around, maybe.
Maybe.
See you around, Princess.
I didn't see her face quite enough, clearly enough. What happens now? Going back to the hut, I think. We gotta start the cutscene. Hi, narrator.
There you are, at last. Can we go home now? I could use a nap. Oh, don't worry. Your real journey only starts here. Obviously. I mean, meow. Meow.
As you wish. Let's go back home. Quite literally, let's go back home. Why does this feel like a bad ending, not a good ending? This really feels like a very bad ending, not a good ending. I couldn't see her face, the world is very much dark.
There are no villains. And there are no heroes either. The ways we walk are lit by glimmers of our dreams. Living the fairy tale, we all become the same blurry past. Destination becomes irrelevant. We make the road. And the road makes us not heroes, not villains. Just us.
What is this ending? Did I somehow manage to get the neutral ending? What kind of an ending is this? It's not cheerful. It's very much ominous. But seriously, what kind of an ending is this? I don't understand a thing. Also, we did not even get to see her face clearly. I did everything in my hand to make her morality good. Why is everything so dark and barren? Did I do something wrong with my ending choice? Was I supposed to take vengeance against all her buddies? What happened? We got to see her face for only 1 single second. And honestly, I didn't even see where the birthmark was. She's voiced by Valerie Rose Loman, and the voice is by Avalon Pensor. Adam Nergal Darsky. I didn't understand a thing. The fight with Baba was quite good, strong, and I liked the challenge in it, but I think maybe I was a little bit too strong in it, since I had all the skills unlocked as is. By the way, the stream is not done yet. We have one last piece of media to show you. Then the stream will end. We're not done yet. If I can count right, I still have... usually they give you 3 manual saves before you get to have the automatic save. Which means if I went back to the last manual save I have, I should be able to have saved before I decided the fate of the 3. This ending with the mask she used a mask of a snake, not a mask of the wood. Something is wrong. We saw her face, but we didn't get to see her clearly. Also, honestly, from her hair, the white and pink, one would think that she's an old woman. But once you see her face, she's young adult. She's really young adult. She's not that old at all. Maybe, wait a minute. Don't tell me that the truth is Zora and... wait a minute. It is very much highly possible that Zora and Yage, just like Gordana, their mother, are albino. Their hair is white, not black. Maybe that's why they called her names. Maybe that's why they are seen as old women, even though they are just difference of color. Also, the birthmark on her eye that we saw by the end of the game, that was nothing. It's just like a scar on her right eye, but that's it. That's not too ugly. It is one of my customs to watch all the credits, so I could give the makers of the games their rightful credit where credit is due. So just wait a little bit, okay? We still have one last piece of media to go through. Fine, I think it's about time I reveal the truth about this game's myth. According to entertainment, according to, I think the name is Digital Entertainment, Focus Entertainment. I honestly forgot it. By the way, the song in the background is named Raven Flock Your Wings, I think. You can listen to its full version in Black Book. It's one of the traditional folk songs. Don't forget, this is an indie game. This is not a AAA game. This is an indie AA game. This is why the credits are very short. Yeah, Focus Entertainment. Blacktail is supposed to be the original tale, the tale of origins of the following Slavic myth. Just let the game quickly load itself. I wish to make sure that we can still reload the last manual save if I wish to, and go back to the area before we decided the fate of the bodies. I don't like this ending one bit. This ending, for me, felt very barren, very tasteless, and very strange. I didn't understand a single part of it. I didn't get to see Yaga's hidden face well, and we went through the entire game with a good morale. Something is weird. Frankly, I feel like we went just through the bad ending, or the neutral one, since from the narrator's own words, there are no heroes and no villains. What does it even mean? Give me 1 second. This is the last piece of media I want you to watch before we finish the Let's Play. Literally. Once we're done with this, the Let's Play is over. We will not do anything else after that. Here we go. This is literally the myth of which its origins we just played through. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you, if this thing would like to work with me here, the Slavic myth of the bony-legged witch. Quickly beforehand, Myth Unleashed, just in case. It's okay already. Credits. If you guess it by now, I wasn't prepared to do this move here. Okay, here we go. Myth Unleashed. And for whoever has too much time on their hands to go and check the URLs I frequent, get a life, please. There you go, Myth Unleashed. Here you go, good. There you go. This is the myth we just played the origins of, quite literally.
Throughout time, people across the world told each other tales of how they came to be, of heroes and monsters, romance and tragedy, death and rebirth. Mythology helped shape the ancient world, explaining the unexplainable. This is Mythology Unleashed. Imagine yourself deep in a dark forest, where the trees themselves seem to almost close in all around you. Venturing further, you see a peculiar cottage in the middle of this foreboding place, encircled by a picket fence whose posts are topped with human skulls. Most peculiar of all, though, the hut is perched atop chicken legs. Those who discover such a hut would do well to turn back and run for their lives, for this is the home of Baba Yaga. A swamp witch of Slavic mythology, Baba Yaga is depicted as a grotesque, emaciated old woman with long flowing white hair, a beak of a nose, teeth like iron, and claw-like fingernails. In addition to her frightening appearance, Baba Yaga is a powerful sorceress with command over the winds, animals, and the ability to hypnotize and disorient the unwary, cursing them with madness and disease. She travels the Russian countryside in a large mortar, paddled by a massive pestle, with a broom of silver birch that brushes away her flight path. Ambiguous as she is hideous, Baba Yaga can be both a maternal, Mother Nature-like figure and an evil villain who enjoys torturing and eating those who cross her path. She has a particular fondness for devouring children lost in the wilderness. But it is important to note, Baba Yaga can be particularly cruel and savage, but she is not entirely monstrous, and will adhere to her own warped morals. For example, she never attacks anyone unprovoked. Her intended prey always comes to her, whether knocking on the door of her hut or just unlucky enough to step into her path. She will almost instantly consume the cowardly and the simple-minded, but will entertain those she deems as honest, brave, and pure of heart. The character of Baba Yaga is not so black and white as other mythical figures, with stories of her acting as a benefactor and a villain, either helping the protagonists or hindering them. She is often reluctant to answer questions or give counsel, as she ages 1 year each time she does so. So those who seek the hag's wisdom, truth, and knowledge must first complete several tasks, often impossible to do without magic. Only upon the completion of these tasks will she provide assistance. If the tasks are not fulfilled and the seekers have not found a way to escape, she will slaughter them and cook them for her dinner. Nevertheless, whatever promises she makes to the hero after the completion of her tasks, she keeps, though she may attempt to double-cross her guests, planning to attack them as soon as the reward is given. In the story Vasilisa the Beautiful, the heroine ventures out of her home at the demand of her wicked stepmother and stepsisters to find more light, and subsequently encounters Baba Yaga. The old hag presents numerous chores for Vasilisa in exchange for a fire to take back to her household. These tasks, however, were impossible for any normal human being to accomplish. For instance, her first task was to sort through a huge sack of millet seed by seed, and to remove all the black bits in the course of one night. With the aid of a magical doll, Vasilisa completes all the tasks and is given a fire in a skull lantern, which subsequently incinerates her horrible stepfamily upon her return home. Vasilisa's story ends on a happy note, with her wedding the Tsar of Russia, but it is Baba Yaga's role in her tale that is most intriguing. For in some variations of the story, Baba Yaga does not reward her at all, but instead plots to kill Vasilisa the following morning. Vasilisa then makes her escape and takes the skull for herself. In Maria Morevna, the hero Ivan Tsarevich must rescue his beloved wife Maria from the clutches of the evil sorcerer Koshay the Deathless. But in order to do so, he must acquire a horse fast enough to overcome Koshay, a horse owned by Baba Yaga. Once again, Baba Yaga tasks the protagonist with a nigh undoable chore to watch over her personal herd of horses, all of whom she coerced into fleeing from the lad. He manages to accomplish his labor with the help of animals he had previously aided. As with Vasilisa, Baba Yaga plans on slaughtering Ivan so she would not have to give him the fastest horse. Through cleverness, Ivan escapes on the horse in question and goes on to vanquish Kashay the Deathless. In the Maiden Tsar, a different Ivan seeks the aid of Baba Yaga, though in this story there is not one, but 3 Baba Yagas, sisters living within identical chicken-legged huts. Ivan asks the first Baba Yaga if she knows the location of the thrice 10th kingdom, to which she does not, but perhaps her middle sister would know. Ivan then asks the second Baba Yaga if she knows of the kingdom's location. She declines and tells him to ask her younger sister, but warns him that she may attempt to eat him. She then told him that if her sister does try to eat him, to ask her for 3 magical horns and permission to blow them. The first is to be blown softly, the second louder, and the third even louder. When Ivan found the third Baba Yaga, she did indeed attempt to kill and eat the boy. But following the second Baba Yaga's instructions, he asked her for 3 magical horns and blowed them in the instructed order. All at once, the hut is swarmed by endless flocks of birds, one of which is the mystical Firebird, who saves Ivan from the hag's ravenous appetite. In this story, we see all 3 sides to Baba Yaga's character, one who is helpful, one who is dangerous, and one who is neither. Baba Yaga is a mythical figure unlike any other. Her origins are shrouded in mystery, with no one knowing where she came from, how old is she, what she is capable of, or just what her intentions are. She adds a level of mystery and uncertainty to each of the tales she takes part in, as the reader is uncertain until her final action, whether her intentions be villainous or redemptive. She can be a kind elderly woman who would help those in need. She could be a cannibalistic monster hell-bent on slaughtering the unwary and kidnapping children for her next meal. Or she can act as a self-serving crone, only driven by her own self-interest. Whatever it may be, Baba Yaga invokes awe and fear in all who hear her stories, reminding us all to beware running into the forest after dark.
Sorry, forgot to turn on the mic. So, what do you think? Which ending did we get? Because I highly doubt that was a good ending. And also, we weren't rotten evil. So, perhaps we got the neutral ending? An ending that is not evil, but also not happy or satisfying? Because honestly, the world around us was influenced by our choices. Even though I went to Baba with full good morality, pure good, but the world around me did not reflect on me a good kind of reward. Even the narrator said there were no villains, there were no heroes. So my chosen path was also wrong. Was I really no hero for defeating Baba and releasing the spirit of Gordana? But also not a villain since I forgave all of the bullies, regardless of the crimes they committed, and then freed Zora's own soul. I can't understand what just happened. I just can't. According to one of the Steam community posts that I read before, but chose to ignore. It's official. Without her mask now, Yaga became the new Baba. Baba is not a name. Baba is a title. The title of the Hutt Guardians. The Hutt's evil is prehistoric, and it needs a tamer at all times. The tamer's name is literally Baba. Sorry, give me one moment to check on quickly that post up if I can find it. So yeah, all this time we have been going through the history of Baba Yaga and how the myth itself was born in the first place. We played literally as Yaga herself before she became the Baba Yaga. Sorry, this is wrong. Spin here. Blacktail. As for the copyrights, I think I will not be struck by one since the song used in the. Let's see here. Just again. One moment. In your language, Baba means grandmother. Yeah? According to the Russian language also, the word Baba means old woman, grandmother, or something else as well. Let's see here quickly. I'm just, by the way, exploring through. I believe there was a certain post here that I previously found within the Steam community. Let me give me one moment to check it out. Where is it at? I know for a fact I found it previously. I did not ruin the ending for myself, but I did find it. What's that? Okay, fine. I will just leave the ending. The thing is here, lots of people are talking about the endings that they got and how they didn't understand one thing from the whole thing. The whole, yeah. It's so vague, and the assumptions it gives don't sit well with you at all. You don't understand at all what the explaining. I mean, just looks like this one is the most acceptable one for two whatever. Okay, warning. This is gonna be a lot of explanation. I'm by no means an expert. I just really enjoyed the game, and this is my interpretation of the ending. I tried multiple times to make it read aloud, just read here, but looks like it's glitched. I didn't mind the ending as much, though thought the ambiguity, while understandably frustrating, for those of us who want a clear answer, really fit one of the main themes of the game, and the source of folklore of Baba Yaga, which is duality of people. In particular, in the folklore, there is no clear answer as to who Baba Yaga really is. She's ambiguous in both identity character. She has many forms: snakes, birds, forest, witch, itch goddess, death goddess, etc. And depending on the story, can be good or evil. In the same way, in the game, the voice and Yaga are both valid aspects of the same person. With when the hut, which was basically Yaga and Zora's birthright, they're ancient, like possibly, or before the beginning of time, family line seemed to have the role of monitoring the hut, protecting the world from the roots stemming from it. This is the same conclusion I reached. Reacting to Yaga's blood, her powers awoke, but she wasn't ready to embrace or understand them yet. Trauma from the years of abuse as a witch from the village had made Yaga believe she was a weak and timid person. She was desperate to find Zora, not only because she loved her sister, but also because she felt she couldn't survive without her. The Yaga we play as was a princess who needed to be saved, protected, in order to fully control her powers and fulfill her family duty. She had to grow past this persona. So being an introverted, abused person turned into a princess. Wow. The voice is a fully realized Yaga who has moved on from being a princess and now has become a warrior and a queen. She's a favorite among the first creatures for different reasons, and a specialist in that she fully understands not only her fate and abilities needed to carry it out, but also fully understands the world around her because she understands her role. She can now be decisive, straightforward, a tyrant, kind, etc. She's who Yaga needs to become, but wasn't ready to be. This aspect appears to protect the not ready Yaga from being overwhelmed by her awakened abilities, and to guide Yaga to her fate in picking up where her family left off with the hut and stopping her mother, Gordana, whose spirit has been corrupted by the roots and has been turned into Baba. So you're telling me that the mask is the grown-up version of Yaga? So you are literally talking to yourself, the stronger self, the future self, and talking to the previous self, is that it? But Yaga is a valid aspect as well. And the voice didn't want to harm her either. Before she was Baba Yaga, she was a normal girl who loved her sister, had a crush on a boy, and hung out with her friends. She had already been through so much once the villagers started blaming her as a witch for the misfortune caused by the roots. Of course, this giant fate put in the front of her would be too much at first, but it had to happen. There are very few hints of this transformation happening. The title, for one, are clear markers of growth disguised as the game mechanics. The most obvious hint is that the black cat, who, if you free the rats in his maze, you learn has existed well before the beginning of everything, and is the first being to live in the hut before Yaga's ancestors appeared as guardians, really only wants to talk to the voice. He needs the guardian to come back, not the young and the timid princess aspect she was before she was ready. He does seem to have a soft spot for Yaga, having watched Gordana suffer so much and seeing her daughter struggle, but the world needs her. The voice is Baba Yaga. All the knowledge and guidance the voice offers is knowledge inherited through the guardian or the hut that Yaga needs to fulfill her role as Baba Yaga. Again, the Baba is just a title, which means the witch protecting the hut. The hut itself is the root of all the evils, looks like it, and only the protector of the hut can control the power of the Baba. So in the end, we see Yaga almost completely given up on herself and try to throw away her mask. Metaphorically, could be symboling or denying her fate as the Baba Yaga due to the pain that this role will put her through. Look what happened to Gordana. Before realizing she can't run away from it and be happy with the outcome, instead of embracing her destiny, she defeating Baba, freeing her mother and sister, while also freeing damning her own friends. This was the last role that she would play as Yaga. Now she has to be the Baba Yaga. So in the water scene, we see Yaga removing her mask, not to deny her identity, but to embrace it. She's not hiding from her true self anymore. If you're a fan of the Persona series, then you're already familiar with this concept. I am. She's become Baba Yaga, not Yaga. So Yaga now can rest and the voice can fulfill her duties as the next guardian. Being as good or evil as the role requires, Yaga will always be a facet through Baba Yaga. So we see Baba Yaga affectionately say goodbye, see you around. Zora's fate is a little more disappointing in that, yeah, we really don't get closure on what she went through, how she died, just that her soul was being imprisoned by Baba. Just an accident is all we're told. In the folklore, there are sometimes multiple Baba Yagas, sisters, so chances are Zora was also awakened to her abilities, but died before she could attain them. So we'll never really know meh. She seemed to do at least to have some knowledge of what Yaga needed to become, which why I assume that she had also discovered the truth from the hut or some other source in her travel. So basically what happened here was that Yaga, the main character of this game, inherited power and duty to protect the world from the hut and its evils. Yet, because of her naivety and her lack of knowledge, she was never ready to protect herself and the first both together. The title Baba is given to all those of the descent of the wise women who protect the hut itself and become witches based on the task itself by itself. I think this is the message. Zora was already dead long ago, but she was never killed by Baba. She faced an accident in the forest that killed her, and Gordana didn't want to lose her daughters, so she thought to get rid of her role, which once she did so, the world sent the hut's evil sent the folks from the village to kill her, and thus stripping her from her daughters both. Someone must become the next Baba, like it or not. So, any final ideas or any final points I wish to give? This game is supposed to be, or to show you, the origins of Yaga herself and how she lived her childhood until she became the official Baba Yaga in our own myth, or something like that. Let's see here. Music is good. The characters are likable, especially Yaga and Zora. The art style is nice. The game's own system of first-person shooter inside a semi-open space that is the forest. And our involvement with the other creatures like the mushrooms, the birds, the gnolls. We fought a number of boss fights, and overall, I think that since this is not the story here is not even canon, we don't know the true origins of Baba Yaga. But at the very least, the team tried their best to show us something. Therefore, I think the game is quite good. Having taken from me the player agency for picking the fate of her friends really enraged me very much. And I will not back away from my original score. For taking away from me the agency to pick up the ending by forcing me to stay on the right or the pure good ending path, you dropped from being 10 to being 5. I'm not even joking. No player agency, no player choice matters. And if you were to, I'm not even sure about this, but if you were to take your vengeance, you will lose your good points. I am very much right now, I'm very much attracted to the fact that I could reload the last save, which hopefully will make me go back to the moment before we decided the fates of her bodies, and then use the artifact to change my morality completely backwards to pure evil, and then go take my revenge and see the other ending, obviously off screen, not on screen, and see if the ending will change at all. Since honestly, the ending we chose is very much vague and looked very much sad. Yes, we had lots of gnolls dead, piked. We found some mushrooms around, happily smiling. But again, the world around us was not nice. The world around us was very dark. The world should reflect on your own choices in the game and your morality. The world I saw in the front of me was hell. Wasn't nice, wasn't good, but the commentary from the narrator himself said we chose somehow neutral. We weren't heroes, we weren't evildoers. Unless I wasn't supposed to even pick sides from the start. You know, like the grand favorite or the cursed favorite, the lunar or the solar queen, the specialist in birds or bees. Looks like you were never supposed to pick a side. Who knows? Honestly, who knows? This is the first time for me to ever play the game. Therefore, I played it completely blind, and I don't know how to even judge it. Quickly here, Steam 19, final part, blind. Also, I need to add here, not to that video itself, I'll have to go to its playlist and add the word 100%. Because we really did finish it 100%. So, overall final score for this game. Likeable characters, I mean Zora and Ziaga. Both, only. Strong storytelling, very strong folklore, great background ideas and ideology. We met with a number of mythical creatures, mushrooms, Brota, etc. The others. We fought good boss fights. We collected and crafted in a light-hearted way. We were allowed to choose our morality system, and the whole world itself. The game is lengthy. Not short, but lengthy. Speaking of which, Marcus, if you're still online, I'm going to show you right now my public hours. If you're still online. Marcus? You're online still? I need still to put my mythical Myth Unleashed URL into my video description so that they don't give me a copyright strike. Let's see here. We need to check out the urn here. Are you still here, Marcus? Hello? Good. Okay, here. My public earning is this. 937 hours public. And as for my next content, I believe I'll be making the shorts to advertise my playlist. That's literally it for now. I'll need to edit the hell out of this stream since I am forgetting a number of stuff. It's okay already. With that being said, I think this will be it for today's session. Final score for this game. Ending is ununderstandable. Too vague. Gameplay is nice. Fun, entertaining. The amount of background information is good. Overall, final score, I would give Blacktail the origins of the Slavic myth Baba Yaga, the witch of the forest. The ultimate score of 7 out of 10. Blacktail gets a 7 out of 10. This is 400 more than since your last announcement, I think. Maybe, who knows? I think this will be it for today's session, so I'd like to play peace be upon all of my subscribers and commentators, followers, fans, and friends. Everyone from the Beasts of Delta Empire and everyone from the Discord server free to friends by name. Peace be upon Thunderstruck Gaming, BH09 Gaming, Luxbear, Marcus, who stayed with us throughout the entire stream, which is a first in my life. Crash 31, Mark Axit 1211, Location Carodan, Cryfield, ZPTV 123, Matthew 1121, Stagata 85, Arfred, Musclepan Gaming, Bupex Press, and the Sparrow Fan 28. This has been with you, your host Invisible from Invisible's Gaming channel, striking at your hearts from the next side of the moon. And this has been with you the final part and the finishing part of Project Let's Play Blacktail, the story that tells supposedly the origins of the Slavic myth Baba Yaga and how Yaga became the Baba Yaga. And we give her finally the score of 7 out of 10. The game deserves to be played at least once or twice, unless you wish to use the artifact. Unless you wish to use the artifact to just drop manual save right before the very end, then change your moral standing between good and evil, and then seek the other ending. It's really up to you. Anyway, until next project, whatever that will be, make sure to stay careful, stay healthy, and stay wise. We are living in a merciless world, unforgivable and unforgiving one. Anything can happen. So make sure you keep your friends and family close to you. Keep your enemies ever closer. You don't know when you'll need help or where it will come from. Therefore, giving credit and gratitude where they're due, it's much easier and simpler to thank others for their favors toward you than it is to put flowers on the graves of the deceased. Until next time, Marcus asked me to make a poll to check out what other projects will be in the next session. We'll see, but for now I'll have to have some time to do some shorts and advertise the other older streams. I do have some ideas, don't worry about that, since we already played 2 games, one after the other, that were completely open world, which exhausted my stamina. I will need something lighthearted, something nice, and overly something linear and short. Which gives me a few ideas, which I will post in a poll if I can. One of them will be very easy, very quick, and very short. And one of them, I highly believe, will place me in a rabbit hole of copyright strikes. Why? You will see in time. Till next time, whenever that will be, and until next session, once again, peace be upon you. Very much thank you, Marcus, for being with us from the very start for this final stream session, for Blacktail to the very end. This has never happened before to me, ever. Thank you very much. Very, very much. Peace be upon you, radically and truly. Thank you very much. Till next time, Invisible with you, sign out. You can now stop the stream. I'll offline reload my last manual save. If I can go back, use the artifact, make Yagkaga pure evil, then go send all of her bullies to hell alongside with Villis and refight Baba once more. I'll check the ending if it changed or not. We'll see. But so far, the ending is very much underwhelming and I didn't like it one bit. I didn't feel like a winner. I did not feel like an achiever or like a hero. I felt like I didn't care. Like nonchalant, literally. Like someone who said, whatever, I'll just pick my own path and get done with it. The ending is very much underwhelming. I did not like it one bit. Anyway, till next time, Invisible with you, sign out. Stop the stream now. Thanks very much for OBS. I should not be thanking them, honestly, but thanks very much for OBS version 29.0.2 for letting me stream this project. Also, thank them very much for ruining and messing up their comments box that used to work fine previously. I'd like to thank very much also Focus Entertainment for this beautiful game. And that's pretty much it. Game over. We finished Blacktail. And before 20 parts as well. That one, I'll take it as an achievement. Let's finish this video before we reach 4 hours. Take care, best of luck. Stop the